1 week ago, OpenAI released Atlas, a brand new web browser built on Chromium that was designed to bridge the gap between a traditional browser experience and what we've all come to love about ChatGPT. Being AI positive, I was really excited about the prospects of such a creation. I had my hopes high and couldn't wait to give it a shot. I was so excited that I dedicated myself to a challenge. Give up Chrome for 1 week and see if Atlas could actually replace it. Does Atlas have the potential to be the browser that replaces all others? Let's find out. Atlas initially launched for macOS, with Windows, iOS, and Android coming soon. The key feature is eliminating the need to have ChatGPT open in another window. In theory, this sounds very useful. Gone are the days of endlessly copying and pasting information from one screen to another. I was hooked. Everyone's browsing habits are different, but I picked the 4 most common things that I do on desktop-based browsers: basic search queries, online shopping, online reservation systems, and reading the news. I wanted to put these 4 common activities that we all do to the test using Atlas. The first test I wanted to tackle was basic search queries. Before we jump into this one, a bit of background. I have an electric stovetop, one of the kinds that when you spill something on it, it instantly calcifies into the hardest substance known to man. No amount of scrubbing can help remove the burnt-on grime. Over the past couple of weeks, I became tired looking at these stains and thought to myself, this could be a perfect first test for Atlas. I asked Atlas how I could remove the stuck-on grime from my electric stovetop. I honestly wasn't sure what to expect. I figured it'd give me an AI summary of the information I had on hand and possibly provide me with some links that it pulled from, and that's exactly what it did. Something I kept noticing throughout the week is the interface feels a lot like ChatGPT, and the links presented almost feel like an afterthought. I don't pretend to ignore the fact that the way we're interacting with the internet is rapidly changing, but something about the fact that the focus of my results was an LLM response felt half-baked. I was left wondering, why didn't I just use ChatGPT for this question? Again, the response and advice was great, my stove is shiny and clean, but it feels like it's lacking a certain luster you see with other browsers and search engines. Now, I will admit that in this example, the search query is very question-based, and in this case, a ChatGPT-style answer is a good solution. With this in mind, I wanted to run another quick test to see how it handles something different, like location-based searches. I searched in and out near me, and it did find one of the restaurants in my general area, but it wasn't the closest. It also seemed like there could be a more efficient way to display the results. Perhaps a data-rich card, something showing the 3 nearest restaurants along with their hours, distance, and address. I feel like this aspect of search on Atlas needs work. Not everything has to be a ChatGPT conversation. For basic search queries, I'm giving Atlas a 3 out of 5. If you enjoy ChatGPT-style responses to questions, this might be right up your alley. To me, it's functional but feels unfinished. Next on the chopping block is something we probably all do a bit too much of: online shopping. My fiance has a birthday coming up next month, and she is a huge fan of the Great British Baking Show, and on numerous occasions she has told me how much she loves the mixing bowls that they use on the show. I don't know much about baking or about bowls, so I wanted to use Atlas to help me find these coveted ceramic mixing bowls. This was some of my first exposure to agent mode on Atlas. I'm not gonna lie, I think I could have done the research myself a bit more efficiently and found what I was looking for, but at first release, it's really impressive. It took a little over a minute from Atlas to go from prompt to an Amazon cart that was ready to purchase, but I can truly see the potential this has. I'll also mention that in regular use, I'd be using agent mode to perform this task while working on something else, and sitting there and watching the agent do the work probably made it feel slower. It can be difficult to shop for people, and Atlas did a great job of eliminating the research for me to find exactly what I was looking for. With more advanced prompting, you could probably do Christmas shopping for your entire family with agent mode in the future. I'm giving online shopping a 4 out of 5. I think there's a bit of work to be done in the speed at which it finds things for you, but it's a really cool way to shop, and I see a ton of potential with agents in this space in the future. With the spirit of birthdays still in mind, let's move on to booking a dining reservation for a birthday dinner using Atlas. For this test, I wanted to push the agent system a bit and write a really specific prompt with a couple of curveballs. I asked Atlas to find me a reservation for 2 at a fancy restaurant with an in-house sommelier and an executive chef that serves American, Italian, or cultural fusion cuisine. I asked for restaurants that were notorious for being difficult to reserve. I won't play the full-length video, but it was pretty cool to watch it go to work finding places, checking availability, and moving on to the next. It actually did find me a reservation at Kalia here in San Diego, with a bit of intervention from me when it got stuck on an open table pop-up, but overall, I think the technology is cool, but needs a bit of refining and potentially some increased speed. I'm going to give online booking systems a 4 out of 5 because I actually did end up booking this reservation at Kalia. I've always wanted to go there, but have never been able to find a reservation. Thanks, Atlas. Next up is reading the news with Atlas. While I was doing research for this video, I realized how important this functionality truly is. Communicating the news has to be done very carefully and with as little bias as possible, especially when you're prompting for daily headlines. I wanted to keep my prompt as simple as possible to see what Atlas would present me with. As you can see, it didn't share a ton of information. It did give me some very high-level news headlines for the day, and it was quite brief. Again, I kept my prompting vague in an attempt to see how much information it would come up with and whether there would be any clear biases. One thing I also tried was prompting for news that someone from a specific industry would be interested in. This was really valuable stuff. News can be so overwhelming, and being able to decide what's important to you and then getting tailored headlines could be a great way for us to use Atlas for news. Because of how excited I am to read curated industry-specific headlines moving forward, I'm giving the news presentation a 5 out of 5. Tailoring articles to your interests and passion could have the potential to really impact a lot of people in a positive way. Overall, I really enjoyed testing Atlas this past week. I think it has a ton of potential to become a truly powerful tool as OpenAI continues to develop it. The UI is classic OpenAI, very clean and intuitive. I really liked how ChatGPT is built into each page through the Ask ChatGPT sidebar. Allowing the system to see what you're seeing saves a ton of time otherwise spent copying, pasting, and switching between tabs. Out of everything, I'm probably most excited about the agent mode. As the system continues to evolve, I can genuinely see it becoming a huge help with repetitive or hard to complete tasks. Now, this wouldn't be a complete review without some areas that need some work, starting with location-based searching. I think they need to take a page out of Google's book and really hone in on this. A ton of searches, especially on mobile, are XYZ near me. This feature felt a bit clunky and it wasn't very accurate. I also think there are instances where it could be better at finding live information, particularly with sporting events. During this week, Arizona State was playing a football game, and I wanted to check the score. Usually I'd use a quick Google search and it would show me a data-rich card about the game with tweets and articles in real time about what was happening. Unfortunately, Atlas didn't even know they were playing at the moment. Obviously, OpenAI's claim to fame is ChatGPT, and I understand their desire to make it the main interface for everything within Atlas, but they could spend some more time refining how results are displayed based on what you're asking for. I'd also love to see some onboarding tutorials. I'm sure there are plenty of features I don't even know exist, and an optional tutorial when you install the browser would be really nice to have. As I said in the beginning of the video, I gave up Chrome for a week to see if Atlas could replace it as my default browser. For now, I think I'll stick with Chrome for a while longer. I don't want to be harsh because I know this is a first release, and I'm genuinely excited to see what else OpenAI can do as they continue developing Atlas. I'm definitely going to keep Atlas on my MacBook and follow its progress closely. The foundation is really solid, but the everyday browsing speed and small conveniences I think just need one more pass. If your web use is mostly questions and how-tos, Atlas is already going to be very useful to you. If you rely on fast cards, dense results, and muscle memory navigation, I just don't think it's there. Yet. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you made it all the way to the end, please consider subscribing to our channel. We'll see you in the next one.